We are live. How is everybody doing this fine day? I hope you're all having a fabulous day. I know I am. Let me turn that light down. It's right in my eyes. For a lot of people always tell me I should turn up the I get people tell me all the time, you should turn up the lighting because then it'll kind of wash out the wrinkles. Bitch, I've earned every one of these motherfuckers. I will fucking just wear them. I will just wear the fuck out of my wrinkles. I'm happy with it. But anyway, my name is Alan Roberts. How is everybody doing this fine fucking day? Today we're going to talk about how we're going to review Gino Bontempo explaining why the body positivity movement is a fraud. I enjoyed Gina's comments greatly on just about everything. I don't agree with her wholly on everything. I don't agree with anybody wholly on everything, not even Mark. Well, Crystal, that's who I agree with everything. But for those of you that don't know, my name is Alan Roberts. I lost 100 pounds a while back. I've developed the hunger management method. We are partners with No Morbidity, partners with Alchemy. I am, somebody's in a drought? 91 degrees here? It's beautiful here. It's like 90 degrees here. Just fucking basking in it. I was just fucking working out. Loving it. Loving it. Anyway, so we're going to get to this and then we're going to talk more. I do want to tell everybody that I will be live for this. Then we're going to do a Q&A right after this, a separate Q&A. And then tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time, the evening rants. And it's going to be Mark and I talking about all the happenings from over the weekend. So it should be an interesting one. Please do check that out. And let's get on with it. There we go. This is Gina. Everybody
That had these, and Giselle Bunch.
Everybody, she just had a baby, so everybody should congratulate her. And we're going to play her at 1.5 speed. And this is why the body positivity movement is a fraud, 2024 edition. Hell fucking yeah, Gina. Get them. Get them.
Is the body positivity movement a total scam? Are body
Yes.
positivity and fat acceptance harmful to women and to our society? And if so,
yes.
Why? Today, we're going to talk all about body positivity, which has now become synonymous with fat acceptance, the fat acceptance movement. We're going to talk about their impact on our culture.
Which is fucked up, by the way. I've said it for many, many, many years that they were hijacking the body positivity movement. That body positivity should be about like burn victims, people that are cancer survivors, people that had amputations, those sorts of things, you know? That's my thing, you know, like, it really is. I wanted to hang on real quick. I wanted to talk about something. And I appreciate your comment, but Michelle says, whether you agree with Alan or not, Alan and Crystal will go above and beyond to help you in your situation. They were amazing with my concerns and my diet, and we've made positive changes. That is awesome. That is great to hear, Michelle. Thank you very, very, very much. And for those people that did, like, here's my thing. For people, you may not like what I have to say, but people don't really... a lot of what I say, I will say, like, when I talk about, like, the, you know, being livestock size and stuff like that, that's, of course, just like my sarcastic, mean ass opinion. And it just is that, and it's going to remain, because if you can't take jokes made about yourself, I don't give a fuck about you. But if my words hurt your feelings, good, toughen the fuck up. Like, that's the stage we need to get to. Like, you don't want to offend anybody. I don't give a fuck if I offend nobody. Fuck off, all of you. Not you, Michelle. I appreciate the kind words, but if you are here watching, being like, well, I just don't agree with what he says, please understand, I don't give a fuck. If you don't agree with me saying that being fat is bad for you, I couldn't give a fuck less about your opinion because you crazy as a motherfucker, right? If you tend to think like, you can't tell if a person's healthy by looking at them, yeah, you can. And if you think you can't, you're stupid as fuck. And I don't give a fuck about your opinion. Like, people have got this all fucking twisted up. You know, like I don't give a fuck about your opinion if you think that being fat's not bad for you. You're fucking crazy. You need fucking mental help. Why the fuck would I give it? Me calling you a fat ass is likely the best thing for you, because that maybe will get you out of your fucking la-la land thinking that you can be fucking fat and healthy. Here's how you know it's bullshit, right? People talk to me all the time. Like, people, like, if you go to my Twitter right now, people are like, it's like, I'm either super puny and I should put a shirt on, or I am on steroids because I am so unnaturally large. That's the comments, right? And of course the bald and the fucking tattoos. Like whenever, it's amazing to me how the fat acceptance people are like, people just make fun of our appearance. What do you think happens to everybody on the fucking internet? But what do you think happens to everybody on the fucking internet? People say shit about your appearance because that's all they fucking got. And like, that's all they fucking got is your appearance. I mean, it's crazy, right? So, I just want people to know, like, I don't, it's not like, you know, I'm going to give a fuck if your feelings get hurt by the shit I say, right? Like, if you take offense to me saying that being fat is bad for you and it's your fault, I don't give a fuck if I hurt your feelings because you're crazy. And I'm not going to coddle the fuck out of you. I'm not going to coddle you because society has coddled you enough. That's why you fat as fuck. So, I mean, it's kind of amazing. And Michelle, I appreciate your, I built off the comment because that's where the ADHD took it. I appreciate what you were saying. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. But if you're one of those people out there like, oh, I don't know. I don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with him about this stuff. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. This is me not giving a shit, right? My opinions are my opinions. The stuff I state is fact is fact. You know, I mean, I'm not going to be made to feel bad about anything. I have been called a racist. I have been called a sexist. I have been called a transphobe. I have been called the made up word of being a fat phobe because it's made up. Everybody should be afraid of being a fat ass. I mean, I have been called everything. I don't give a fuck. The people that know me know me. Like, most of my friends all find it funny when when I'm called a racist. You know why? Because I'm the white guy. I am literally the token cracker for my fucking friends. I've got like 2 friends from high school that are white that I talk to. And then everybody else in my fucking circle besides Crystal is not white. But yet I'm a racist. My friends find that hilarious. Like literally hilarious. I'm the fucking cracker, you know? And it's amazing to me. I've been called all those things. This past weekend, in case you guys didn't know, this last weekend, the rapper Ice-T ran from me like a bitch on Twitter. He was basically saying how both the left and the right wing are side of the same birds. Meanwhile, this bitch literally fucking was telling people to wear a fucking mask and telling people to get vaccinated the last 4 years. So the gangster thug is a fucking cowardly ass hoe who ran from me when confronted, and he knows me. He answered back and then he blocked me because he's a bitch. But it's been fun. But all of his little minions have been calling me names all weekend, which they can, which is good for my engagement, which means I don't give a fuck. It is amazing to me how we will have people put shit out online to try to get engagement and then complain about the type of engagement they get. Does ever get what I'm saying? Like, you put out content saying you think you're beautiful and you're fat, and you actually don't think that you're going to get, you think you're only entitled to positive like interactions because of that. Like somehow you make a statement that other people could have a different opinion about, and anybody that has a differing opinion about you is somehow some sort of phobic or mean. No, they just have an opinion that differs from yours, and your opinion and your worldview is based so much on fantasy that them saying something about it crushes your fucking soul. So anyway, back to Gina.
And I'll also tell you about my personal experience writing a lot of content for digital publications that were geared towards women, that were all about body positivity and fat acceptance in some way. And I wrote for some pretty big publications. It's quite a not.
Just so you guys know, she actually used to be the person that set up Candace Owens' entire show, and she's been a writer for a couple decades.
I started writing probably about 10 years ago, and I quit writing for these publications in 2017. So we're going to talk about that as well, because I'm going to explain to you just how hypocritical the body positivity movement is and just how fraudulent it is. I was on the inside. I saw the editorial rooms. I saw exactly how content is made. I saw how body positivity is pushed. We have seen the body positivity movement take over the world in recent years. Multiple brands, companies, corporations, influencers, celebrities, everybody has been on the body positive train. Everyone loves to virtue signal online and post content about how your worth is not related to how much you weigh. Health is...
it's actually your worth is actually inverse to how much you weigh. We just haven't we haven't fucked up in society. Here, I mean, this is something that I say that I think a lot of other people imply, but I don't shy away from shit. So If you're 500 pounds, you're actually a detriment on society. You're not actually a valued asset to society if you weigh 500 pounds. You are more drag than what you're fucking worth. You know, like, it's just fucking ridiculous, you know? Oh, hang on a second. You need to be kinder to people's bodies and stop promoting weight loss as it can be harmful. Respect and support their well-being instead of I'm speaking from experience. Well, fat ass. No, I'm not going to coddle you at all. If this is a real thing, you're just fucking weak. You realize that, right? You're just weak. Like, I hope you lost weight because that makes you less of a liability to society. But if you were a fat fuck, we don't need to be kinder to you bitches. We need to tell you to lose fucking weight. Right? That is actually how that shit should work. Like, fuck your feelings. You're a drag on society. Lose fucking weight. I mean, if you're trying to lose weight, I'm your biggest fan. I'll help you in any way I can. We'll celebrate all the fucking victories. Let's get to this shit. But if you're like, oh, just be kinder to me because ho-hos are delicious. No, fuck off. Lose weight. Pussy ass hoe.
Available at every size. There's no such thing as being obese or fat. It's just the unfair beauty standards in our society that are really harmful to women. And it's really gotten out of control lately, body positivity. And like I said earlier, it's now synonymous with fat acceptance. And I think it's really important to point out that we have come a long way from the early body positive years. Right? In the beginning, body positivity was more about celebrating normal sized bodies. That was really the point of when body positivity hit mainstream society and hit mainstream culture. It was more about celebrating women who are not a size 00. Maybe.
Yeah. It went from like, hey, okay, you know, it went from Tess Holliday saying like, my health is none of your business to I can be healthy and fat real fucking quick. I mean, when Tess Holliday was first on the cover of Cosmo, it was my health is none of your business. Meanwhile, bitch, we can see that you're fucking barely breathing on stage and you're killing that fucking couch you're sitting on. We know your health is shitty. I mean, it's so fucking ridiculous.
Be celebrating a woman's body that has a C-section scar, that has a little bit of cellulite. It was all about normal sized bodies. Because if you think about the 90s, yes. I was a 90s kid. A 90s, early 2000s kid. And any millennial who grew up during this time remembers that all the models were like the Kate Moss type, heroin chic. That's the actual name of the trend. Yeah. You were super skinny. It looks like all you ate was an apple and coffee and just smoked cigarettes all day long. And you're just rail thin. And that was what we saw in magazines. So the early body positivity movement that hit the mainstream culture was really about rebelling against this unattainable beauty standard, because very few women have figures like that naturally. There are, of course, the genetically blessed that are the supermodels that are super, super skinny. You know, we saw in those early years the Victoria's Secret angels like Heidi Klum that had these, and Giselle Bundchen that had these beautifully lean figures, and that's just kind of how they were genetically blessed. But most women are not like that. Most women don't look like that. So the early body positivity movement was about celebrating women's normal bodies and encouraging women to be to feel content with the fact that they're not a size 0. And we have now transferred from that pretty quickly. It devolved into celebrating obesity and HAES.
Yes.
Health at every size. That's a very popular hashtag and trend and conversation that is talked about in conjunction with body positivity now. We now have the popular Cosmopolitan magazine cover that the headline is actually, "This is healthy." That's the literal headline. "This is healthy." And it has pictures.
Which is just insane. The pictures that it has are of just hugely fat, fucking clearly unhealthy, many physical problems women. It's fucking sad.
Of morbidly obese people on the cover. And yeah, they're doing some sort of fitness pose or yoga pose, but they're morbidly obese. And the whole message is that this is now the standard for health. And of course, we also saw the Self magazine cover that was about the future of fitness. And it was all about fatness. There were multiple articles in there about how the future of fitness is fatness. And so, and also featuring obese models. And so we're seeing much more of this in the culture today. And it is a bit unrecognizable compared to the early body positive content that we saw and the early body positivity images that we saw, which was about, hey, maybe you're a size 4 or a 6. And that's okay. Maybe you're a size 8. But now it's like you're a size 16 and 18 and you're beautiful and you have the Tess Hollidays who are morbidly obese. We're not talking about their worth in the world being any less than ours. We're not trying to be cruel or mean.
Oh, they're worthless. I mean, they're not pulling, it's not pulling the weight, right? Like, you place your own value on yourself in the world, right? Like, what value, you know, I get it. People are like, oh, well, you can't, nobody's worth should be determined by their size. Why not? I'm sorry, but why not? Like, if you are not physically capable of taking care of yourself in the state, if there would be an emergency, you're a drag on society. I like done, you know. Hang on. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Promoting weight loss can be harmful as it may lead to nutritional deficiencies, physical stress, social anxiety, disordered body image, overlooked medical conditions, and economic exploitation. Being fat as fuck kills you. It is disproportionately burdensome to all of society. When you glutton your fat fucking face every single day, when you fuck yourself in the face with pie every single night, you are in fact telling society that you think that you deserve special treatment because you're not going to be able to take care of yourself, as if you hadn't face fucked yourself with said pie every single night. You in fact will not get me to feel bad about it. And he might be trolling. I think so too. But you see, and I get this, by the way. I get that, but like sometimes like people don't understand. You got to use the trolls. That way you can get an extra portion of your message across. Like it's cultivating the trolls. The trolls think they're trolling. The ones I use, I literally use to help extend my conversation, you know? I mean, the fucked up thing is we all saw how they acted last week. I bodied them all. I gave an opportunity to fucking show up with show up on camera, and they all fucking ran like little bitch ass cowards. That's what they are.
By saying that they have a metabolic disorder that manifests and shows up in the way that their body looks, and they're morbidly obese, and we should not be celebrating that. And so it's just gotten out of control. I'm going to show you a TikTok now as an example of just how ridiculous the body positive movement has become, because now we're talking about obesity and quote fat phobia being connected to, you guessed it, racism. Let's take a look at this video.
Here's your reminder that fat phobia is rooted in racism.
God, she's fucking crazy. Here's your reminder that fat phobia is rooted in racism, and she's so smiling. Bitch, you white. Like white. You're like, white? You're not even white. You're white.
As always, if you haven't read this book, go do that. The main thing to understand is that for
yes, let's forget about all sorts of like science and shit like that. Go read a biased book.
the last 300-ish years, white folks have been marketing fatness as a black trait. And this is regardless of whether or not black people individually were actually fat. That was irrelevant. The message they spread was that black women specifically were ravenous and uncontrollable.
Find me anywhere that it says this. Find me. Find it for me. Find it. This is made up shit. And it is super fucking racist of you to say that people not liking people being fat is racist. Because first of all, it does make the assumption that all black people are fat, that all black women are fat. Secondly, you're making the assumption that they couldn't do it. Like they couldn't lose the fucking weight.
And these barbaric traits made them fat. On the flip side, thinness was marketed as a white trait. Again, regardless of whether or not individual white people were actually thin, that was irrelevant. The idea was that white women specifically were refined and restrained, and this led them to having delicate, thin bodies. Over the years, these messages have become more subtle, but even today, they're still very prevalent in conversations around race, health, capitalism, and poverty.
Of course,
Sad.
she has blue hair. Of course
Yes,
she does. What other
of course
color
she
hair
does.
would she have except blue hair? I also,
Yep.
it just irritates me when they talk like that. This is a reminder that fat phobia is rooted in racism. If you haven't read this book, go do that. It's all about racism and poverty. I just hate that tone, that intonation. I digress.
Yep.
So this is what body positivity has become, because guys, did you know that fat phobia is racist now? It's racist to say that obesity is real. It's racist to
They've been doing that to Gina. They've been doing that to me since 2018.
talk about obesity being a metabolic disorder. It all comes down to racism. Before we even break down this ridiculous word salad, I want to tell you about one of my favorite sponsors today. We're going to talk about the First Form prenatal multivitamins. If you are in your childbearing,
Nope. No. I'm not going to do we're not going to do the thing. Oh, by the way, that's because I'm old and skinny now, bitch. I'm a skinny fucking queen, motherfucker. My goal was to lose weight, and you think being called skinny is going to be a fucking insult. God, you guys are sad. Sad. And I am
it's
old,
nonsense.
bitch.
People will literally come up with any excuse to not accept personal responsibility for their health.
That's
They will
right.
come up with any excuse to not admit that obesity is unhealthy. And
Yep.
people actually believe this nonsense. But here's the thing for me. We don't have time for this. We don't have time to sit around and discuss whether obesity or fat phobia is rooted in racism. We don't have time to entertain these word salads that come from the ivory towers of academia. We don't have time for that. You know why? Because we have been facing a public health crisis for the past several decades of dangerously high rates of obesity that are still rapidly rising. Nearly half of American adults are obese today. The rates of childhood obesity are
I would argue that over half of American adults are obese. That the data that everybody uses to say nearly is data from 2015 to 2018, and it doesn't include the great fattening of 2020.
Skyrocketing. We are in the middle of a public health crisis. Forget the 2020 public health crisis that shut the whole country down. The rates of obesity are much more dangerous. So we do not have time for this. We don't have time to entertain these TikToks and these influencers who just want to virtue signal online and connect things like fat phobia and racism. It's total nonsense.
Yep.
And it actually makes me really upset because as somebody who works with women who want to improve their health, want to lose weight, want to shed excess body fat, and as someone who used to be 50 pounds overweight, I don't know why we're wasting time like this. I don't know why we're even entertaining these ideas. It's so unhealthy to encourage people to be content in their obesity and in their poor health. And then again, you look at all of the rates of obesity and the rates of chronic illness. 6 out of every 10 Americans today have one chronic illness. 4 out of
That's crazy. That's insane.
every 10 have 2 or more chronic illnesses. Oh, and not to mention, I forgot to mention the real kicker here is that obesity is the leading cause of the leading causes of death. It's the leading contributor to things like stroke, heart attack, heart disease, many types of cancers, type 2 diabetes. Why are we wasting our time?
So, just crazy. I agree with you. Why are we wasting our time? I will also point out that it is another study showed that 88% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. 88% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. About 90% of that could be fixed with lifestyle. That's fucking crazy, right?
Time talking about how fat phobia is rooted in racism. Just stop. It's nonsense. We don't have time. Help people get healthy. If you actually care about people, if you actually care about improving people's lives and not just virtue signaling on the internet, help them lose weight. Tell the truth. Because remember, truth is inseparable
Yes.
from real compassion. All these people who pretend like they care, we don't want to insult people of color. We don't want to insult obese individuals. So we need to change our language. You care more about insulting them. I care more about them being healthy. And I'm the bad guy. We're the bad
We're like brother and sister.
guys because we want to actually solve the public health crisis of obesity in this country. But I think that we are seeing a bit of a turn in the culture. I think people are starting to rebel against this body positivity, fat acceptance nonsense. And I think people are particularly tired and exhausted of having images of obese people shoved in their faces 24/7 and being told that they must find this beautiful, that this is the new beauty standard.
Yes,
For example,
indeed.
this picture is from the Instagram of Fenty, which is Rihanna's beauty brand. I think I have one Fenty product. I think I have her bronzer, but it's a very, very popular beauty brand. And they posted this 2 weeks ago. As you can see here now, for those of you who are just listening to the audio, I'll describe the photo. The photo is from the woman's mouth down to her belly button. So you can't see her eyes. And all she's wearing is a gold bikini top that's matching. If you can't really see, you can see the string on the side, matching bottoms of the bikini. She's holding what looks like maybe it's an eyeliner or a mascara or a lip gloss or something.
Yeah, the eyeliner's really going to help.
And she's morbidly obese. She has, I'm just describing what's in the photo. I'm not trying to be mean. She has the fat rolls right under the breasts that look like a second pair of breasts. You know, like the upper belly part. You know what I'm talking about for those of you who can't see. And if you look
You mean the udders? They're udders. Yes.
at the comments on this photo, people are not having it. There's backlash to this. They're sick of this. They're kind of disgusted by this. The very first comment I see is unfollow. And then the second comment I see is, okay, I know it's supposed to be all real bodies, yes, but what the F is this picture promoting? Let's read some other comments. Plus size is not healthy. I can say that. I'm obese with a myriad of health problems. Been exercising and eating right. Good for her. Best of luck to you. Another person said,
I'm starting to see a lot more comments like that where people are like, this is bullshit. I'm fat and I need help. I'm starting to see it.
I don't get it. What is the point of this picture? And then you have some people who are like, I love the body diversity of this campaign. And then there's another woman who said, as a morbidly obese woman, we need to stop normalizing being this big. It's not healthy. I know it's a struggle because I go through it daily, but I don't accept normalizing this. And then some people are like, this representation is so refreshing. Have you ever noticed when they talk about representation, they only care about one type of body being represented, and that's the morbidly obese, metabolically unhealthy body. If you want to talk about representation, where are all the normal size women, like size 4, size 6, size 8? Where are they? They're never in the campaigns. It's always either heroin chic, starving herself, only had an apple for breakfast, or it's the morbidly obese woman who's eating herself to death. So don't talk to me about representation. This isn't about representation. This is just about showing fat bodies and pretending like it's totally normal. So the comments are all, it's a mixed bag, but there are a lot more comments in here than expected that are critical of this. Somebody said, just why? Someone said, this is promoting obesity. Someone said, what are you advertising? This is just exploiting the woman for attention. I love all people, but it's just unhealthy. Sorry, not sorry. So what's happening here is that people are feeling more and more comfortable speaking out against this nonsense because, like I said earlier, they're sick and tired of having these images shoved down their eyeballs. Nobody wants to see this stuff. I don't mean this. I'm not trying to be cruel. And I know there's going to be plenty of people in the comments talking about how mean I am and how hateful and fat phobic I am. I honestly don't care at this point. I haven't cared for a long time because this is not useful and helpful and productive for anybody. It's not good for this woman. It's not good for people watching. It's not good.
That's what I always say. And I'm going to stop it there, tell you all to go watch her because we have the other live to get to. But honestly, go follow Gina. she clearly knows what she's talking about. But we have to, and you can finish watching it, but we have to get to the stage where we're actually like being realistic with people, right? We have to get to the stage where we're actually like talking to people about the actual shit that's involved in their life. And if you're trying to avoid calling a person fat and telling them to lose weight, you're omitting shit from them, right? Like you are omitting what's needed, you know? It's fucking crazy. Crazy. All right, so we are about to hop over to the next one. I hope to see all of you there. We are just going to do 3 years, 5 months as of today, binge free Q&A. God damn.